The next presentation will be about these qualifications, these nano degrees, let's say, how to actually validate these skills. I would like to invite Dick van der Waal on the stage, who will tell us about the open badges for skills validation. Dick van der Waal is a manager of international services from the National Europass Center in the Netherlands.
The clicker's on the...
Oh, the clicker is over there. Good afternoon. I think you said that my name was Dick van der Waal and I'm from the Netherlands. So, yeah, because I can't understand a word of your language, and I hope you can understand me, or it will be translated by the translators over there, who do a very good job. As I said, my name is Dick van der Waal. I work at DUO in Groningen. Groningen is a city in the northern part of the Netherlands. And I guess you all know where the Netherlands are. Yes? Okay. I feel honored to be here, but I'm also a bit scared, because when giving a presentation in another country, there's always a cultural difference. There's a matter of language, but also of culture. And thinking about going to Estonia, I remembered that I was here the first time. It was, I think, about 7 or 8 years ago. And Estonia was a kind of promised digital land, I think, because I went to a restaurant and I could order my meal by a digital thing on my board. So lots of things are digital here in Estonia, much more in the Netherlands. And I have to tell you something about digital things as open badges. So that's why I'm a bit scared. And I'm also a bit scared because I prepared a presentation about 40 minutes, and I only have 20 minutes. So this will be a real challenge. Even, maybe I only have 15 minutes, so I have to skip a lot. So I will start very quickly. I work at DUO. DUO is a big company. We are part of the Ministry of Education, an executive agency located in the north. And we have a lot of people working at DUO, about 2,000 people. So it's a big company. And when I listened to the discussion this morning, I realized that things changed a lot. When I think maybe 10 years ago, there were 50 people working at the ICT department. Nowadays, there are more than 500-600 people working at our ICT department. So jobs change, and also skills change during that period. I work as a manager of international services. And we take care of a lot of international things at DUO. We finance the schools, and we also finance the students. So you can say that DUO is a money company. We spend a lot of money, I think about 45 billion euros a year for the educational sector and for the students. And we also becoming more and more a data factory. Because spending money, you need to store data. We have a lot of data, especially we have data stored of all the students in our diploma register. And if you want to know more about that register, you can ask me afterwards, because you don't want to ask questions when the moderator asks you to ask questions. So that's also a matter of culture, I think. But you can ask afterwards, and I have some information about it. Most important thing, what is my task, is trying to use our diplomas and our register to use it for the enrollment process of international students, from Dutch students taking their data to another country, or students from other countries taking their data to the Netherlands. But now I will tell you about open badges. Who has ever heard about open badges? Please raise your hand. A few people. Okay, that's great. Open badges are not new. We know badges for years. We know, you can see a badge from a scout. It's just a sign on your uniform. I recognize somebody wearing a uniform over there. Maybe you can stand up. And you can see at your uniform badges. Maybe it's just possible to stand up? Yeah? So you can see badges on a uniform. So it's quite normal. Please, thank you very much. You can see badges. Badges are used to show a skill. Maybe as a scout, you gather skills making a campfire, and you can earn a badge that shows that you're able to make a campfire. But badges are also used, maybe thanks to the gentleman over there, at uniforms to see what skills you earn, what are your competent, what are your responsibilities, but it also can be used as a motivation tools. But now, most of us don't wear uniforms anymore, and we live in a modern world, especially here in Estonia, we live in a modern world. Learning changes, schools has been changing, and jobs are changing, as we all heard this morning. So we live in a digital world now. So we think that we also need something digital. An open badge is a digital certificate. It's visual, it's still a badge, it's still a picture, and it's offered by a new standard. It's called Open Badge Infrastructure. Originally, it was invented by Mozilla. I think you all know Mozilla. You all know Firefox as a program. Mozilla is the owner of Firefox. What is an open badge? An open badge is still the same. It's still a sign, not on your uniform, but you can share you can put it on what we call a backpack. But it's a digital image. And in that image, there is data inside. It's baked inside, and it's made unchangeable. It can be the name of a person, a description, the issuer, the company who issues it, criteria, evidence of the skill somebody has proven. So this is an open badge. And there's data, unchangeable data inside. How it might look. This is an example. It's an example of a digital competence. And it shows that the person can solve almost all problems that arise when using digital technology. Blah, 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 blah. You can read it. And when somebody has been given this badge, then you can be sure that he is able to solve almost all problems, blah, blah, blah. So it's a kind of digital diploma or something, but something smaller than a diploma. And it's issued by a company, and it is issued to a person, and there's been a valid data. Maybe you have to have another course in a few years. So this is an example of a badge. So when starting to use badges, open badges, in a company or maybe at school, you need an organization as an issuing platform. You need a company or an organization to issue badges. And there's lots of possibilities. There are many tools who can, and many factories who can help you issuing badges. And as an earner, you need a place, not a uniform anymore, but you need a place to store those badges. And we call it a backpack, or you may call it an electronic portfolio, an e-portfolio, or a passport. So you earn badges and you store those badges on your backpack. And you can show those badges anywhere you want. You can show it on social media, on LinkedIn, maybe on Facebook. You can show it on your CV. You can show it on your Europass CV. At Duo, I'm also responsible as Manager of International Services for Europass. So you can show it to others. And in the way showing it, you can prove to others that you have earned a badge and you are able to speak a language or to have digital competences. So, what I've told you, you have badges. Badges is just a sign, it's a symbol, it's a picture. You have badges. All of your kids play at the computers and they earn a lot of badges, so ask them about badges. You have a backpack where you can store your badge, and it's a digital, it's an open badge because it's an open standard by Mahara or some other companies. So now, when the next step is from badges to systems of badges. What is a badge system? It's a framework, it's a frame of several predefined badges used in a certain learning environment. So, let's give a few examples. This is a badge. It's an example of European key competences about digital skills. You can be a basic user or an independent user, and you can earn a badge for basic users, or you can earn a badge for independent users. Another example. You know, I think most of you know the common framework of languages. You have level A1, B1, C1, C2, European portfolio of languages. Well, you can earn also badges for your skill in speaking or writing or listening on a certain level, B1, B2. So, as I said, we have badges, you have open badges, you have badge systems. And looking to the Netherlands, we were issuing badges as Europass, especially in non-formal education, especially in voluntary work. When you work as a volunteer, you learn a lot of things during your voluntary job, and you sometimes it's nice that you can prove that you learn skills being a volunteer when you apply for a job. So we used open badges for voluntary work. But now we're also trying to convince educational institutions to use open badges in formal education. And I will switch to our VET system in the Netherlands. Vocational education in the Netherlands, we have the levels the AQF levels 2 till 4. It's always a mixture between theoretical courses and practical courses. And when you combine theoretical courses with practical courses, and you combine them to a diploma, and then you get a diploma at AQF 2. It's a basis diploma, and the highest level in vocational education is AQF level 4. And you can see when you do level 4, you have more practical and more theoretical things. So this is the way the FET system works. And maybe you can compare it in the way you work in your situation. But we still have people, youngsters, who aren't able to reach EQF level 2. It's too difficult for them. But we need them. We need them to be part of the society. We need them for lots of jobs. Still, we need them. And then we were thinking about, well, what can we do for them? Because they are not able to achieve and to reach a diploma, the level for the diploma. But maybe we can give them smaller parts of a diploma. Maybe we can give them badges, open badges. Normally they don't have very much theoretical courses, but they have a lot of practical courses, and they have a lot of practical skills. And then we can show that we can give them a certificate, or we can give them an open badge or a badge. It can be issued by companies, but also by schools. And when you look at the practical part, you can combine them. You can arrange a learning pathway. You start with practical test number 1, and then number 2, maybe you switch to number 4, and at the end, the learning outcomes, as we call it, are combined and can be fit in the national qualification structure. So in that way, a new sub-diploma occurs. It's stackable, small batches, building up to larger batches. It's very motivating for the learners, and it's usable in non-formal and also in formal settings. Okay, I think I have 2 more minutes left, or yeah, okay, yeah, because, well, quite a challenge. So I told you about something about diploma registers, about open badges, and now, because I'm also responsible in the Netherlands for the Europass Center, try to combine that. Europass was launched in 2005, so already 13, 14 years ago. It's a portfolio for lifelong learning. Well, today we were talking about lifelong learning. And after 10 years, it was not fit for purpose anymore. It was a bit old-fashioned. It's paper-based, but it's still the most used CV all over the world. So the European Commission had a lot of discussion, but finally in May this year there was a new Europass decision. And in October, a Europass advisory group was formed. I'm also a member of the advisory group. And what will change the next period? I think, oops. Oh, I think I have to go back. Yeah, okay. What will change in the future? Europass will be in the cloud. So it will be a totally digital portfolio. And also badges will be part of that portfolio. That will be the future in maybe end of next year. It is still a portfolio of the 5 existing documents, the CV, the mobility, the diploma supplement, the certificate supplement, and the language passport, but they will be renewed, but they will be more digital. And there will be a central information portal from all kinds of portals which give information about studying and working in Europe. They will all be in one central information portal under the name, under the brand name of Europass. After 2019, it will change in a system with more open badges and even more digital system, maybe on blockchain, maybe with diplomas on blockchain, maybe with diploma supplement. So it will change and will develop over the years. So, to conclude, open badges, I think they have the future, but who knows? I think they will be used not only in formal, in informal and non-formal situations, but also in formal education and in the new electronic portfolios. And an example is the new Europass portfolio. There will be room for open badges. So that will be it. Thank you very much. In 15 minutes.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Please, have a seat.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's try to squeeze in, let's say, 3 questions.
Yeah.
Let's just dive right into it. What does this badge system offer that, for example, LinkedIn skills and recommendations do not offer?
Okay, that's a very good question, because we were thinking about that. The main, you can use the badge and you can show it on LinkedIn. That's no problem at all. LinkedIn is also a portfolio. As you can show it on LinkedIn, you can show it on Facebook, but people don't show them on Facebook, but they can show them also in an e-portfolio. I think that that's not a point, because lots of employers now, I don't know whether it is the same in your country, but in the Netherlands, lots of recruiters look at your LinkedIn profile. So they don't look anymore at your CV, but most of them, well, in the Netherlands, most of them, and especially in certain branches, they look at the LinkedIn portal.
Absolutely.
So that's no problem at all. But the main thing is that open badges, they can't be changed. So you can't lie on your CV, on your LinkedIn anymore. With using the portfolio.
That's a good summary. You cannot lie like you can on LinkedIn. That's.
Yeah, we call LinkedIn sometimes. LinkedIn is called a bunch of lies, or a portfolio of lies. Everyone is a director or a vice president.
Senior vice president.
The senior vice president.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and your wife is the president of your
yes,
family.
Exactly. Yes, in some cultures even a general, perhaps. Anyway, why should a person use this system? Oh, sorry, this is about LinkedIn again. This is a copy question. If anyone can issue a badge, who checks that the skill is actually obtained to transform it into an official certificate?
Okay, that's also a very good question, because anybody can issue a badge when you have the technical possibilities to do it. And there are certain factories you can hire them and they can make badges for you. That's quite easy. But the value of the badge is in the company who gives the badges, and is also in the company who is getting the badges. When there was somebody from Coca-Cola over here, Coca-Cola can give a badge for a training inside their company. But when I get the badge from Coca-Cola company, and I don't drink Coca-Cola, and it can be a problem for me because I don't know what is the value of it. But for another Coca-Cola company, maybe in Sweden, that company recognize it. So it's the value is given by the company who gets it and the company who gives the badge.
It seems to be like a really good practical tool, especially to map the sort of micro nano degrees that we get to earn from Coursera and massive online courses and of course companies themselves. That's wonderful. I'm afraid that's all the questions that we have time for.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.